One of my big complaints with Madden 25 so far, what a great start to the video, by the way, has been that there's not a big enough separation between the worst teams in the game and the best teams, right? How are the Panthers, who won 2 games last year, a 79 overall? I know they made some changes. They got some additions to the team, Jadeveon Clowney being one of them, Robert Hunt being another, like one of the highest paid guards in the league now. But the Cardinals are a 78. The Giants are the lowest rated team in the game at a 77 overall. Yeah, I might have a little bit of Giants bias. I know they're terrible, but why are the overall so high? The Texans and Panthers have a 3 overall difference? It doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Anyway, we're going to be rebuilding one of the lowest overall teams in the game. That is the Arizona Cardinals. And I actually did part of this on stream in the early access window. And then when I tried to get off stream and record the rest of it, because my stream window time was up, I was still in my streaming software instead of my recording, and I didn't have my desktop audio muted, so I'm just watching a GeoGuessr stream in the background making trades. I drafted 3 generational defensive linemen pretty much, superstar X-Factor monsters that ended up being mid to high 90s by their early 20s, and then I hear, yeah, I think this is probably South Korea. I'm like, dude, how did I make this mistake? Anyway, what a long-winded intro. Welcome to the channel, and let's go ahead and talk about this Cardinals roster and try to overhaul it. A lot of new additions to this team, including some superstar rookies, none bigger than Marvin Harrison Jr. This is the team. I would hope that Marvin Harrison Jr. has superstar development. I don't think they give anyone superstar X Factor. I really don't. In terms of the rookies, I don't think anyone gets it, which I get why they do, because the whole thing is superstar X Factors, like the best players in the league, the top 50 or so. But you can draft superstar X Factors in the draft, which you should be able to, in my opinion. That's fun. But just give it to a rookie if they're so hyped up. Like, we're going to see he ends up having probably superstar dev, but he's one of the most hyped up draft picks of all time. Marvin Harrison Jr. His dad is a Hall of Famer. He was dominant at Ohio State. And even at a stacked position in the NFL, figures to be one of the best 20 receivers in the league as a rookie, maybe even better than that. He's expected to come in and be a wide receiver 1 instantly. He was my highest graded receiver in the draft. That's not exactly that shocking. Neighbors was really close, but Harrison Jr. is a special player, right? They also bring in Trey Benson, who I kind of want to start, to be honest. Benson's a super freak athlete. Really great size at running back, 6'1", 223, but again, very, very, very fast. Runs upright, which is super weird, but contact balance pretty good, play strength pretty good, so not really too worried about it. There are a lot of fun offensive players. Trey McBride, Michael Wilson. Don't know so much about Zay Jones being a fun offensive player, but he exists. And then obviously Kyler Murray. Should he have a bigger separation between Desmond Ridder in terms of overall? Yeah. What are we doing? Not saying Murray's one of the best 5 or 10 QBs in the league, but he's close to top 10. If he's not top 10, he's close. Desmond Ridder, that's a +6 overall? I don't know. Don't love it. But Paris Johnson Jr., we're going to develop. The defense is where the problem comes in. And that's why I'm so stoked that there were so many stud defensive linemen in the rebuild I did of this team that's now lost to time. Because we needed defensive line more than anything, and D-line was stacked more than anything in the draft. So that was awesome. Max Melton should be fun to develop. Really good athlete out of Rutgers. Shout out New Jersey. Buda Baker, Jalen Thompson. Like, there are some good players here, no doubt. Might need to rearrange the team a little bit. I want BJ Ojulari to play. I know he's hurt in real life. We're going to develop him here anyway. And I hope he becomes a stud. But it sucks because you get excited for players going into the season, and then they get hurt, and it's like, what are you going to do? It could be potentially career-ending. If you lose a season as a young, developing player, who's to say you ever get exactly back on track? So we're going to go ahead, kill training camp, get a skill point upgrade for all these different players. Kyler Murray, Trey Benson. I'll probably go through it with you as we go through it, and it should be good. Rushing attack's, of course, going to be Trey Benson. They made rushing attack super easy as well. Like, it was never that difficult. It was just, are you going to get enough rushes in time? If you get tackled like once or twice, you're not going to get gold. But now they give you a minute and a half. I'm stuck with gold running around for the final 40 seconds. It's like, why did they add so much time? I use Michael Wilson in this first receiver drill. I want to develop him. I'm considering using Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, buddy, you could have just knocked it down. All right. You didn't have to punch it across the freaking field. But I'm considering using Marvin. I just think he's going to develop so well anyway that maybe isn't even important to use him, and it might be better to use Trey McBride or somebody else. But I don't know. I think we might just use Marvin Harrison Jr. anyway and try to make him one of the best receivers in the league. Okay, the coverage is too tight. Wilson just doesn't have that level of explosiveness quite yet. In the stream, and I'll stop referencing it, I promise, but they gave us a moment for Michael Wilson where he jumped it against the Raiders, I believe, and needed like 150 yards, but they didn't give him superstar development following completing the goal. That was an XP challenge. They gave him superstar dev just because at the start of the challenge in the first place. So, kind of crazy, but that's the type of thing I guess that can happen in Madden 25. A player can just get superstar dev out of nowhere. What's happening? I don't know. Hopefully good things. Skill point, maybe. There you go. We're not going to develop Zay Jones. Do I rather Trey McBride or Harrison Jr. get it? Probably Marvin. Trey McBride's going to be good anyway, and I think a big-time wide receiver is probably a little bit more impactful than a big-time tight end. Nah, he stinks. And of the guys that we can actually develop on the offensive line, Isaiah Adams, I know he's a rookie, but he's like, it's borderline. He's 24 years old, 70 overall, normal dev. I'd like to develop John Gaines as well. I don't know if that's going to end up happening. I like to develop Christian Jones, but all of these young guys are 24 years old, and how much can I actually develop them? I know that seems crazy at 24. If their starting overall was a little bit higher, maybe it's a little bit different. I don't know. I think we're going to try with Isaiah Adams because I could see him being a starter, but I don't know. It's probably just he and Harris Johnson Jr. that'll be starters long-term of the guys we actually have on the team. Maybe Jonah Williams just because his overall is pretty high and he's actually not super old. That's a possibility. But I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, we want to get better. Jedrick Wills will probably be in free agency. And, you know, that's not the worst guy to sign. He's young and pretty good. Oh, my goodness. We're really cutting it close here on this one, but we'll get gold. It's no worries. I definitely want to develop Darius Robinson here in the trenches. Probably will use BJ Ojulari in chase and tackle. Robinson, first-round pick out of Mizzou, inside-outside type player, as I said the entire draft process. He was a really fun player to watch. Just big, long, and strong. The combination of what gets you drafted highly nowadays. Look at guys like Tyree Wilson. Look at guys like Trayvon Walker. You know, the NFL... Okay, well... Are we doing the mannequin challenge? What is happening? I can't move! Alright. Zaven Collins, another one of those guys where... Is there actually room for development? I'm going to pick BJ Ojulari instead. And Ojulari, I keep saying I'm not going to mention it anymore, and then I mention it. Based on his development in the other rebuild I did, I don't know that he's going to be a guy. He's going to need some type of dev trade upgrade. I think he did end up getting superstar, to be honest, but was like 27 years old at just an 80 overall, 82 overall. I used him as a trade package, trade piece to move up. So that could end up happening again. I'd like to develop him. You get a second chance, BJ. Man, who doesn't love one of those? What that would even mean, I don't know. There's something there. Could have been done better. No question. Too much teeth. No, come on now. Now, the young corners are very interesting, right? There are a lot of... Taylor Demerson, of course, is a safety. One of the actually only true single-high safeties in this past draft class, to be honest, from what I could see. He could be interesting, for sure. Max Melton, we definitely want to develop. He's for sure going to be one. Jalen Thompson is not going to be someone that really develops too much, but can be a fine starter, but someone we might want to upgrade. Same thing with Sean Murphy-Bunting. Garrett Williams could be nice to develop. He was pretty nice coming out of Syracuse, but has dealt with some injury stuff. We'll go Max Melton, and then, I don't know. We'll decide when we get there. And with the talent that you'll find in draft classes at the cornerback position, I'm not really sure we have to go and develop Garrett Williams or Elijah Jones. As much as I might want to, Jones is a really fun prospect at a Boston College. Really good size, really good tape. Didn't hear a lot about him because he played at Boston College, which, yeah, it's still power conference in the ACC, but they just haven't been good. They've had a couple good players over the years. Matt Ryan, obviously, going a ways back. Luke Kuechly. Justin Simmons was another Boston College guy, but haven't really heard much about them lately. Elijah Jones, really, really good. But it probably makes more sense to develop Jalen Thompson than draft a better corner. The corners are just always stacked in these drafts. So it just makes more sense in my opinion. Okay, let's see what the prospects in the region look like. Strengths of the class, not bad for us. Corner, right outside linebacker, right end. Hopefully pass rushers at right outside linebacker. So John Ramirez is a speed rush type at 6'3", 260, only 21 years old. I like the look of that. So our Tier 3 National Scout is definitely going to be an outside linebacker defensive end specialist, and probably will have focus on outside linebacker, I would say. So we're going to be in a really good position to draft a pass rusher probably. And also could be some really good corners in this class. Saw one at least there in the top 5, one in the top 10 or so, but 4 round 1 total, and then a lot of guys on the outside. So definitely will get the regional scouts going for cornerback, but the national scout, you're getting fired. Everyone's getting fired, and we are going to recalibrate. So we've aligned our scouts well enough. Kind of funny that the Southeast, the biggest strength supposedly, is right outside linebacker, and one of the biggest weaknesses is left outside linebacker. Not really going to add outside linebacker in that case, but the national scout will take care of it. So we are all set up, ready and raring to go. We'll make sure during week 3 those guys are being scouted regionally. And I'm telling you, I'm thinking Trey Benson's going to be our starting running back. His numbers year 1 are going to be really, really bad. Not James Conner. You kind of just need to be a 90 overall-ish running back to even be good in simulation. And James Conner just does not have that potential, whereas Trey Benson does. So I'm kind of trying to build on potential here. I think that's an important thing. Garrett Williams will not be my slot corner, I don't think. 88 speed, though. That could be all right. Kaiser White is in here. I think that Zaven Collins, even though he might actually be better on the ball, I'm going to play him off ball. Because we're going to have Darius Robinson, and Justin Jones is fine. Actually, Bilal Nichols I probably prefer up the middle. And then our rush ends, I don't want Zaven Collins there. I want B.J. Ojolari. Xavier Thomas is super fun. Former 5-star recruit. He could be someone that I could see developing. Never really happened at Clemson, but still a really good athlete. Has definitely flashed. But maybe, you know what? Maybe Zaven Collins can do that. Collins and Ojolari, and then Gardex a backup. We do have Cam Thomas in here somewhere. Maybe we'll try to develop Chris Barnes instead. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like Mac Wilson, I've always kind of liked. He's just not all that good. I don't know. We have a DB breakout. What is our record right now? We are 2-2. Actually, not really all that bad. Like, that's fine. But also, long season, we could end up getting a lot worse. The DB breakout, Buda Baker, our best guy. Okay, I mean, well, Buda's a beast, but I don't even know what can happen. Is he going to get a depth chart upgrade? 4 tackles, 3 pass deflections. What safety is going to even get 3 opportunities to get 3 pass deflections in a game? I mean, that's unlikely to happen, I would say. Yeah, he didn't do it. No kidding. Even if you played the games, is the safety going to get 3 pass deflections? I doubt it. We do have a linebacker breakout, though. Show me someone I actually care about. Please. 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 All right, Mac Wilson. let's give him a hard goal, emphasizing consistency. I don't want turnovers, just make tackles, please. 4+ tackles for loss. What? Or 1 interception, forced fumble to upgrade his dev trait. I mean, 4 TFLs is just a lot of TFLs. I get it said hard goal. I can read somewhat well. Except non-cursive. I don't really do that well with. But other than that, I'm okay. We lost 41-28. That's a lot of action, though. A lot of the time the defense was on the field. But you're proud of the defense this week. I mean, we gave up 40 points. Okay, well, all right. Everyone's got their own bar and standards, I guess. And I hate to say this, but it's how I feel. I wish I didn't feel this way. All of the press conferences and storyline scenarios, it's just a little tedious. It just is. I would like to see more impactful ones, and those do exist. But mostly, it's a lot of just tedious things. I got to go in and basically look at a scenario or two every week for minimal gain. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, expiring contracts. Budda Baker, Zay Jones, Will Hernandez, Greg Dortch. It's like kind of like a cult hero, but I'm not all that interested. I mean, James Conner's here. Not really all that interested in basically anybody here outside of Budda Baker. Will Hernandez is a maybe. Budda Baker, I think we should bring back just because he's really good. He's expensive for a safety, but Budda Baker returns. Safety's actually getting pretty expensive, but so is every position in the league, to be honest. Will Hernandez, for 2 years, is actually quite good at an 80 overall. Might have to bump up the money a little bit to make him actually sign, but under 10 million a year for 2 years, I'm pretty comfortable with that. And then we can just draft another receiver. I don't need to be tied down to Zay Jones. Michael Carter, if he was really cheap, maybe. Again, we can just draft another running back. Don't exploit my passion for the franchise. I took it down by like a couple $100,000. Anyway, I think I'd like to trade Kaiser White. It's the trade deadline. I don't really anticipate being a playoff team here. Kaiser White is somebody that I think we could get something back for. And we're going to do this. Kaiser White, Zay Jones, a 4th this year and a 5th next year for Cesar Ruiz, and a 3rd in 2026, so next year as well. I think Cesar Ruiz has a chance to start for us. I know Isaiah Adams exists, right? But if you look at this team, as I mentioned before, I really only think Paris Johnson Jr. has the job, like, solidified. I think Cesar Ruiz could compete at either left guard or center. Christian Jones is starting for us right now over Jonah Williams, and that's because I don't know. I mean, hook him, obviously. Get your horns up. But why? I did not do that. Well, I'll be. Marvin Harrison Jr. actually does have Superstar X Factor. Well, I talked a lot of trash, but he actually does have Superstar X Factor right away. I think that's sweet. I think that's warranted as well. Can that, and should it be stripped at some point if he doesn't live up to expectations? Yeah, obviously, but give it to him off the rip. He's earned it after being one of the craziest prospects ever. Why is my depth chart so different? I have adjustments off. Maybe I just didn't change the actual starting lineup. Yeah, just not really interested in a lot of the free agents that are here, to be honest. So, or, you know, from our team, not going to re-sign anybody from that group. So I'm just comfortable with where we are. We lost to the Dolphins 30-3, but we did beat the Bears 32-18. What a wide variance of performances that we're doing so far. 4-5. We're either getting crushed or we're winning. It seems like there's not a whole lot of in between. I don't know if I've noticed that many close losses so far. And what was that one? A 24-21 win. And we are back to 500. So our draft pick gets worse by the day. And I still fear that we're not actually even going to be a playoff team. Okay, there's a lot to take in right now. Okay, so the quarterback at the top of the board looks kind of incredible, as does the defensive tackle, Ashton Barksdale. This is like not even a player we need to even make a focus player. He's got A, finesse moves and power moves, A, tackle, B, block shed. Very, very good overall athleticism. I don't know if he's a generational player.
I don't understand.
What don't you understand? I don't even have Siri on. How does that even happen? Anyway, I'm cool, calm, and collected as always. I would say, obviously you don't need quarterback. I would consider moving all the way up for multiple players in the top 10 if it looked like that was the move. And wow. I feel like the talent at the top of the draft is kind of incredible, which isn't super shocking, I guess. We're going to get full percentage on the outside linebackers for sure. Do I want it now? I think I want to get full percentage on some of the guys down the board a little bit more. And then we'll use our focus scouting players on some of the guys near the top. The only reason I say that is because it's going to be tough to move all the way up for some of these top players in the draft. But we should have a pick, you know, somewhere near the second round to take maybe a really, really good player. So I'd rather find out about some of these guys. Simulate to the playoffs after doing the regional focus scouting for three focus players, I should say. I don't think we're going to be a playoff team, but we seem dangerously close. We've already almost won too many games if we're really going to go out and have a really high pick. We might be picking like 15th or beyond that. We're 8-9. We did not make the playoffs, but how'd we do overall? So we're not passing the ball really at all. I mean, Kyler Murray put up one of the all-time bad quarterback seasons that I've seen in Madden simulation. Oh, this is really awful. Less than 3,000 yards passing, 17 touchdowns to 14 picks. He better rush for about 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns, which something tells me that did not happen. We had absolutely no running game. How did we win 8 games? How did that even happen? Really, really awful everything. Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. were pretty good, all things considered. Trey McBride really didn't produce a whole lot. Maybe our defense was going crazy. They were, I mean, some of these numbers are quite good, but they really weren't going crazy. They were going reasonably, whatever. 3 picks for Budda Baker and Sean Murphy-Bunting. We actually had quite a few interceptions for the entire team, but no one with a huge amount of picks, just 2 guys with 3. So we are going to be picking where? Like top 15-ish? Let's see. We are at 15. So if we want to move all the way up for, I mean, Jose Burgess is a top 5 talent in the entire draft, right? And I bet if we used our focus player on Ashton Barksdale, he'd be a top 5 talent. And I bet if we did it on Brandon McLeod, he'd be a top 5 talent. So I think we have a pretty good idea about at least 3 of the top 5 players in the draft. And if you've never been here on the channel before, I do realistic rebuilds as we get deeper into the year. And most of my rebuilds, I don't go too crazy, except I will make crazy moves in the draft to trade up for big-time players. I like to do that, and that might be what we're looking at. We might do something wild to move up for some of the best players in the draft that could totally change how this rebuild goes. There are 2 really good corners at least, and I think the defensive tackle needs to be the priority. It's not like they're a dime a dozen, but you can find some pretty good corners down the board. It's a lot more difficult to find like that generational type defensive tackle, and I think the word generational is so corny with the draft, but that's what they call them in Madden. So that's what we're going to be calling them. I think that defensive tackle, I'm not going to say generational, but looks really, really good overall. Ravens and Cowboys played in the Super Bowl. Cowboys got the Super Bowl. First time in a long time, unfortunately. 42-38 is your final. Lamar Jackson wins MVP, but Dak wins Super Bowl MVP. And nothing really of note for us with the Cardinals. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I guess Marvin Harrison Jr. could have been in the conversation, but the numbers were just not super impressive. Again, I don't really think I'm going to be re-signing anybody. I guess it's a possibility that maybe we bring back James Conner for cheap or Chris Barnes for another year, but James Conner's down to a 75. Are you kidding me? No. Absolutely not. I think we've got another year or 2 of Cesar Ruiz. So our line should be mostly pretty good. And I think Jed Wills in free agency could be a good idea. That might not be bad. But we have a lot of money, almost $100 million. Charvarius Ward would be a big answer at corner. Chase Young would be a huge upgrade on the D-line. Jedrick Wills is here, only 26 years old. Morgan Moses and Rob Havenstein are just kind of like Band-Aids. I think I definitely want to offer at least Chase Young. He already has interest in coming here. For his potential, and should he still have superstar dev? I don't think so. He's such a beast, though. Like, we forget he was Defensive Rookie of the Year. Injuries have kind of held him back. But he could just be a monster with the Saints coming up. That's a legitimate possibility. This is a player I'd really actually like to get. And he's only 26. If he ends up playing into the 90s, he's worth every bit of $25 million per year. And that's as expensive as it gets on that contract. We're number one. Mooney Ward here, 29 years old, one of the better corners in the league, clearly. I would be very comfortable offering him a 3-year deal that still could make me draft a corner. He's very expensive, but he doesn't really want to be here. He wants to be back home in Mississippi, which, like, maybe he forgets what Mississippi is like. That's mean for no reason. But why? No, family. Dude, come to Arizona. Have a good time. Come to Glendale, Scottsdale, Phoenix, like that whole area. There's a lot to do. A lot going on. Max Melton, by the way, is already up to an 80 overall. That's really good. If I didn't even need to say that, that's really good. He's super young, super talented. Trey Benson, star dev, of course. We need help on the D-line. I wish Darius Robinson had star dev. That'd be awesome, but didn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's not ever going to develop, really, because of that. Well, maybe. Like, he won Defensive Rookie of the Year, I think, in the rebuild that will never see the light of day now. He is good, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to develop the same way. We definitely need to move up for that defensive tackle, just no question. Edge might have to take a backseat unless we get Chase Young, in which some things could change for sure. Off-ball linebacker is also a big need. Okay, let's see what we get. Chase Young's the big one. It's got to be bugged. We didn't get any of them. Chase Young to the Raiders. I mean, I knew we weren't going to get Charvarius Ward. Okay, that's Smoke Monday. Ward goes to Minnesota. Yeah, so close to Mississippi, dude. That's what Minnesota is known for. What close in spelling? It starts with M-I. Why the Vikings, man? I don't even know what else we would do in free agency. I don't like the team, obviously. There are some players I like. But I'm not sure who in free agency actually even helps us. We went after two of the biggest fish. Got none of them. We're going home hungry. So you see now I didn't fully scout some of the outside linebackers. We're going to get enough of a percentage to figure out about them. So didn't really think that was the right way to go. I feel like Ashton Barksdale, from what I can see, is going to be a top 5 player. I don't really feel the need. I'll tell you what, this quarterback looks nuts just from all those A's off the bat. Outside linebacker, I actually think, is fairly disappointing. So I'm not really sure that is the strength of the class. Doesn't really seem to be. I think the ideal draft is trade up for Jose Burgess and the defensive tackle. Those would be at the top of my list probably. And that way we don't have to move into the top 5 twice. Still come away with pretty good players. Although, Sean Randolph down the board, off-ball linebacker. As is Brian Nance. We might want to keep our 3rd round picks. But there seems to be good value down the board at outside linebacker. At least at right outside linebacker. Maybe not so much on the inside. Jonathan Cleveland, though. That's a lot of A's. He looks like he might be pretty good. What is a mock draft saying? Okay, this is not bad for us. Ashton Barksdale's dropped a few spots. Supposed to go at number 5 to the Chicago Bears. That's good. The corner, Brandon McLeod. 7 and 8, though. Okay, we would have to trade in the top 10 twice. Burgess is moving up a lot. And at that point, is Brandon McLeod better? Should have made him a focus player. He's a top 5 talent, though. We'll just have to look beyond that. So I do like what I'm seeing so far. But we will have to move up if we want those players, for sure. But, I mean, to 5 and 7, it's going to be tough to get 2 top 10 picks from number 14. One of them is going to be easy, right? Getting the second is going to be the problem, but I think if we can get both a big-time defensive tackle and a big-time corner, again, we're going to be looking really, really good on the defensive side of the ball. I already like where the offense is. So it might come down to trading a player, right? And we'll decide who that ends up being. Maybe even, you know, it's multiple, as Hitchens is the first player off the board, big-time quarterback from Oregon. And, I mean, do we wait till 5? Is the defensive tackle going to be available? I think the board is going exactly as predicted, and then Grant's off the board. We will pause at number 5 and try to move up with the Chicago Bears. For the defensive tackle, it's our number 1 need. The Bears don't have a lot of cap room, though, so this trade is going to have to be only picks, and they don't even know what they're asking for. I would be very comfortable trading a pick next year to get this, though. I would have no problem doing that. So how close does that make us? They need a quarterback, but they really don't. Why would their team need to be quarterback? Caleb Williams is superstar X Factor as well. Okay. I see him. Madden EA taking some risks this year with the dev traits. It's a welcome surprise, actually. And remember, I have 2 third-round picks next year. I don't know that this is going to be enough to get it done. I don't really want to part with picks this year. I really don't. But I think it's going to have to happen. If I can trade, though, for this pick without giving up number 14, without giving up any picks this year, that'd be ideal. I can do it. I don't want to go ahead and, you know, pillage, and whatever word comes before that, pillage my entire draft picks for every year. But I do want to move up badly. I'm going to add Mac Wilson to this trade. I don't know if that moves the needle at all, but we'll see. It's close. It's a 1, a 2, and a 3. A 2 next, or 2 years from now. A 1 and a 3 next year. I really don't want to trade my third-round pick this year. The 5th is not going to be incredibly valuable. Really does not move the needle. I'm going to have to give up probably at least another 3, which I don't want to do, but I'll do it in 2027. This draft class is worth moving up in. I promise it is. I can't promise, but it really looks like it's going to be really good. We're so close. It's going to be like, I don't want to give up another 3. I'm trading so much, and that's just not enough. All right, I mean, I'm trading an egregious amount of quantity. The quality, I mean, it's a first-round pick next year, which is projected to be pretty high. A second-round pick 2 years from now. A 4th next year, a 3rd next year, another 3rd next year, and Desmond Ridder for quarterback depth. All to move up into the top 5. It's a lot, but the player we're getting is going to be really, really good. Ashton Barksdale has A, finesse moves, power moves, and tackle with B, block shedding, elite speed, great strength, great a lot of things. He is a beast. It's not A's across the board, but it's about as close as it can be. And he's only 21 years old. I think he's going to be phenomenal. And welcome to the Arizona Cardinals, Ashton Barksdale. We still pick at 14. I'll get a better idea of what my draft picks actually look like now, because I've just traded a lot of them away. But he is the number 5 player in the draft, and we drafted him at 5. So he is really good, just far from generational. But when you look at him, I mean, he looks pretty awesome. 90 strength, near 80 speed, 80 plus acceleration with really great technical ability as well. I think he's going to be awesome. But that does mean that, well, the quarterback's probably the best player in the draft. He looked like borderline generational. No one's going to go here, and then 2 corners are going to go off the board probably at 7 and 8. Do we prefer Brandon McLeod, 21 years old, A-man, B-press, B-zone, elite speed, ran in the low 4.2s. Low to mid 4.2s, I should say. That's going to be the guy. I mean, Brandon McLeod looks incredible. I don't know how good Jose Burgess is going to have to be better than that. He is taller by 2 inches. He is older by a year. He also has elite speed. He's not quite the same athlete. B block shed, B hit power. I think McLeod is the choice. I like the year younger. I like, he's just better overall. It is slight, but he certainly is better. And we're going to move up from 14. I might have to still move back up in this draft, right, as Chavez goes off the board. Or Chavez, actually, is how that's pronounced. The Browns are on the clock. Seems like they're going to be taking a corner, but they're also not. We're not going to let Brandon McLeod go to Cleveland. I have 1, 2, 3 in this draft. One's going to be on the move. I don't have almost anything except for a second-round pick next year, and then I'm missing my second-rounder in 2027. What can I give them player-wise to get this to work? Obviously not moving a tackle. Can't move a quarterback. I'd love to trade Mack Wilson. I don't really have a receiver to give, but I would definitely trade one, but I don't have one. I'm not trading Michael Wilson. We need him. But I need to move up for this corner. He looks incredible. So this is a lot of future picks to trade. It's a lot. I usually don't completely debilitate a draft class like this or a set of draft picks, but these guys I think are real difference makers that will just totally change how our team is in the future. Quantity is cool, but when you can get real top-end quality, it's got to be done. We're trading a first this year, number 14, a third in 2027, a fifth this year, and a fourth in 2027. We don't have a lot of picks now. I know this is bizarre. I get it. These guys are real difference makers. Two of the best players in the draft. McLeod might be even better than the last corner. A-man, B-press, B-zone. Super athlete. Welcome to the Cardinals. We got him at number 7. He is the number 2 player in the entire draft. Again, I think the quarterback is going to be number 1. 97 speed, good acceleration, agility, change of direction, jumping. He's a beast. And his coverage is going to be really good overall. Had to be done. Now, if you look at the draft board, by the time we come up again, oh, wow. Jonathan Cleveland is a top 5 player. Oh, my goodness. Elite speed, elite agility, elite acceleration. What a freak linebacker. The gears are turning. I might be stupid. I'm infatuated with defensive players. I almost have to make a move up. I know that's insane. I totally get that. But, I mean, I don't know. We could make it work. I'm intrigued, if nothing else. The only problem other than having no draft capital is I don't know exactly where he's going to go. Okay, so he's expected to go at number 19 to the Bucks. I know teams have had 3 first-round picks before. That's not unusual. I mean, it's unusual, but it does happen as Burgess is off the board next. The Vikings had 3 first-round picks in the draft where they took Cordero Patterson, Sharif Floyd, and Xavier Rhodes. The Giants had 3 first-round picks when they took Daniel Jones, Dexter Lawrence, and DeAndre Baker. We've had number 5 and number 7, which the Giants actually had when they took Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal. Do we move up to 19 for the middle linebacker? If he's available, I'm going to try it. As the Texans had another Dell. Not Tank Dell, but Dell Whitworth. And the linebacker is still on the board. Man, this is such a... The fact that this is... I guess I've already uploaded a first rebuild, but the fact that this is the next one, just being an absolute maniac in the draft. I mean, I'm running out of picks, right? I kind of want to trade out of the draft to get future picks. But man, we have a rare opportunity. We could absolutely make a trade if we wanted to. I'd love to trade a player, but the Bucks do not have very much cap space at all. Can they even afford Will Hernandez? They can't. And I mean, obviously he doesn't equate to the 19th draft pick, right? We could make it work if we just add somebody at the bottom of the roster. How close is that? Obviously not close. We'll have to trade our second round pick. I don't know if the third would get it done on top of that. I know how crazy this is. I'm almost like self-conscious about being this insane. I want to keep the third in case a good off-ball linebacker gets there. What about a future one in 2027? Oh, God, what am I doing? I mean, the difference-making players. We got to get better. Why would we not want to get better? What about, okay, a 1 this year, or no, in 2027, so far away, a 2 this year, and we will trade for a 2 next year. And that's not going to go through, but it's close. So this can help us get some draft capital back in the future. And obviously this is not going to go through. I just want to see how close it is. Still pretty close. We can use this draft to replenish some of our picks overall. What about add 2 6s? Doesn't really do a whole lot, but I can add a player. Okay, so this is going to be the trade. We're trading a 2027 first-round pick. I don't know, dude. Don't judge me, please. We're trading a 2nd this year, a 6th in 2026 and in 2025, and then back-to-back 7s in 2026 and 2027. We're getting this pick, number 19, and a 2nd-round pick next year. So we get a little something back, but we get a top 5 middle linebacker, which you really do not see very often. Jonathan Cleveland from San Diego State, 6'2", 225, very light, actually, for an inside linebacker. It's like a money backer, safety type guy, but he's a physical player who delivers bone-crushing hits, B blocks, A pursuit, A tackle, A zone, elite speed, agility, acceleration, solid strength. He looks like he's got great coverage and inside run-stopping capability. So, Jonathan Cleveland, welcome, not to Cleveland. Oh, wow, okay. But welcome to Arizona. He is the number 1 player in the draft, not the quarterback. I feel even better about this move now. Sometimes you just got to be crazy. This was way crazier than I anticipated being, for sure. But, you know, they say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. And we could get birds in our hands, whatever that means. No, I get it. Or I'm not just saying I get it. No, I totally get it, dude. And we can still get a round 1 talent, off-ball linebacker down here in the 3rd round. With elite speed at outside linebacker as well, even though it's in the 4-5s. A play rec, zone coverage, pursuit, block shedding, and awareness is pretty good. Tackling is really good at A to B. Sean Randolph, welcome to the team as well. Number 18 in the draft. We took him all the way down the board here, not like in the, you know, the day 3 picks or anything, but back end of day 2. That's our war room. We got a couple of skull caps in there. That's an interesting look. Yeah, put the hat on over the skull cap there. That would have been interesting. Number 18, we got him at 78. I like that. Feels pretty good. Good speed, acceleration. Oh, I didn't even check out the linebacker's attributes. I got to remember to scroll over now. That's going to have to be a thing I do in the future. But we've definitely killed the draft. We have 3 top 5 players and a top 20 guy outside of that. I know we traded a lot to make it happen. But you can't argue that we're way better. Now, are those future picks going to be valuable? Yeah, of course. Right? But I think we made the right moves at the time. We'll go J.J. McCoy here. It's a good name. Sounds like a quarterback name. He's got normal dev. He's not very fast, but he does play receiver, I guess I can say about him. Okay, draft recap. We'll, of course, check out our draft and then how the rest of the league looks. Interesting. Okay, so Ashton Barksdale's only a 77. I may have overestimated how good he was, but I mean, he's got 81 power moves, 76 finesse moves. He's a good athlete. Looks like he's never going to get hurt. I don't know. He looks pretty solid. Block shedding is not terrible. He's already the 27th ranked defensive tackle in the league. So when you factor in that most teams are going to start 2 defensive tackles, right? Sometimes even 3-ish, even though they're called defensive ends in 3-4s. So don't even worry about that. But most teams are going to start at minimum 1 defensive tackle. 1.5 maybe. He's already in the top part of that. So he's starter caliber right away. And he's the worst draft pick we had at the top 3. Brandon McLeod is an 82, our highest rated corner already, with 81 man, 78 zone. Very solid player. Not really much in the way of traits, but is already the 43rd ranked cornerback, in the top 10% of all corners. And then the crown jewel of the class, Jonathan Cleveland, is 22, but very, very good already. 83 overall, He's the 12th ranked linebacker already. A lot of traits there. He's in the top 6% of all middle linebackers. Awareness is crazy high. Tackling, pursuit, speed, acceleration, everything crazy high. Generational, dare I say. He looks like a beast. It was worth moving up for him, for sure. I mean, how few superstar middle linebackers do you see like that? Sean Randolph is a 75. Also, hidden development with very good tackling, speed, acceleration, block shedding, great. Coverage really isn't too bad. Also, a billion traits. I feel like we crushed it. Which, I mean, obviously we did. We had 3 first-round picks. Well, you better crush it. And Jose Burgess ends up being a higher-rated corner. Wow. Why? What makes him better? 81 man, 77 zone. Oh, it's not better. It's compared to the defensive tackle. What am I talking about? No, okay, forget that. I could cut it out, but you guys, I'm going to let you see it, unfortunately. D'Angelo Hudson, quite good as well. Tim Hitchens, man, I thought this guy was going to be a stud. Normal dev, but he also looks amazing. Not very fast, though, but I'd be pretty happy with that pick, even with normal dev. You win Offensive Rookie of the Year, bang, superstar. It's all good. But what a draft for us. We just got a lot better. Okay, so what a wild offseason. One of the craziest ones ever. Welcome to the channel, I guess, if you're new. It's not that typical. We do need to get a better wide receiver 3. Could use more depth at running back. I like where the O-line is. Mostly, obviously, some upgrades are probably in order. I'm just going to play Christian Jones over Jonah Williams. Get your horns up in the chat. This is not live. Defensively, I mean, we got a lot of great young defensive players that we're trying to develop. I really, really am excited for our surely superstar X-Factor middle linebacker. Maybe not, but his overall is high enough to the point where I think he's definitely going to have it. I can't say for certain, but I think there's actually a pretty decent chance. And the team is in a mostly pretty good spot. So I actually think we're just going to be good to simulate here and check in at the midseason mark, see how we're doing. But I've decided to go Chiefs playbook on offense and defense. We'll try to prioritize Trey McBride more in the offense. Hope that gives Marvin Harrison Jr. some more receptions as well. Don't know what that means for Michael Wilson as wide receiver 2, maybe even the 3rd option in the offense. Trey Benson should get going, and the defense should really jump alive with some of these new awesome players. And we are 5-2 at the midseason mark, and Jonathan Cleveland is guaranteed to have at least superstar development as he has a new ability unlocked in that top left. We're going to see these rookie dev traits. Didn't really do too much on offense, obviously. Harrison Jr. obviously does have superstar X Factor. We've talked about that so far. I really would like to continue to develop Kyler Murray. He's 28 years old, which can get a little bit weird, but he's still developing. So maybe they've kind of changed the way quarterbacks can develop for Madden 25. I know they're constantly year to year tweaking the progression system a little bit, but this from 24 to 25 is definitely the biggest change from what I've noticed so far. And then defensively, we only have 2 revealed. Cleveland, of course, does have superstar X Factor. He is a beast. Block shedding is going to continue to go up. I mean, he is a monster player. There's no way around it. He might even be as high as a 90 overall by the end of the year. There's a realistic shot that that's true. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I don't know how we haven't played the requisite number of snaps to reveal dev traits for Barksdale or McLeod. How have they not been on the field enough? It's got to be so close. Okay, it's going to be a game away. Only a game away. Is that an Annie reference? I think it actually is. I didn't expect that going into this video, but Barksdale, he's going to be a really nice player for us as well. I don't know what his dev trait is, obviously, but the fact that he's already an 82 overall, mid-season, he's flying up. He's got to have at least superstar, right? He's got to. And we know he's a top 5 player in the draft. I feel like we're killing it right now. 5 players ready to negotiate extensions. Trey McBride. Jalen Thompson's actually developing in this rebuild compared to the one that I recorded on stream. I did end up signing Cameron Dicker. Hook 'em, of course. Blake Gillikin, Paris Johnson Jr. is a fifth-year option. But I really would like to bring back everyone with the exception of Jonah Williams, I would say. So Trey McBride, a little over $10 million per year. I'm going to give him a 5-year contract. I think we want to keep him around for sure. Jalen Thompson, I think a 3-year contract is fine. He wants to be here, which makes me want to take down the money a little bit. We get him till he's 30. Jalen Thompson goes ahead and re-signs. And then with the special teamers, the specialists, I should say, don't really need to do anything right now. They're probably going to be a little bit more expensive than they need to be. Like, do I really need to pay $3 million per year for a punter? It's not awful, I guess. Okay, we're gonna re-sign Blake Gillikin, and then Cam Dicker, a little bit more expensive. I think we could just probably. Am I a Texas fan? Well, I am. I mean, we'll decide. I would say in the off season. Now, can I trade Jonah Williams for anything? Because we're starting, a slightly younger right tackle in Christian Jones. The cap hit is just so insane. The Packers are giving us an offer. I'll tell you what, Green Bay. How about a pick? I would love a pick instead. A first-round pick is obviously not going to work. I would very gladly take a second-round pick, though. Back end of the second round. I can even maybe do a pick swap in here as well. We don't really have a lot of picks. We have 2 seconds right now. I would actually just take a straight-up third, I think. Or even a second next year. I would take a second next year. So that's going to be close. I'll give you a 6 to make that work. Okay, Jonah Williams and a 6th next year for a second-round pick next year. I think that puts us in a pretty good spot. Again, we've completely butchered our draft class in order to get as good as possible as soon as possible. I still think that was the right call. But, time will tell. I did actually stop the simulation a week early. We do have a halfback breakout challenge where Trey Benson could just earn superstar dev out of nowhere. That's a possibility if it's anything like what happened with Michael Wilson. 150 plus yards rushing and receiving is possible. We can choose a new goal. I am curious what that would even look like. I think they're gonna be ready for that. Let's try something else. I don't like it, but I think they're going to ready for that. That's not really English. How about 100 plus rushing yards and a touchdown? That feels very doable. I think Trey Benson could certainly do that. So that's going to be our game day challenge, and we'll increase his dev trait if we can successfully do that. Is it worth jumping in? Yeah, I think it is. Let's do offense only and try to get on Thursday night primetime Trey Benson 100 plus rushing yards and a touchdown. With the way all Madden defense feels this year, it feels easy. I don't even know that this is going to be too challenging. Now, I typically do just throw the ball more, but I think it's very doable to rush for 100 and get a touchdown. That's not a great start, though. There we go. Oh, there's a flag. Are you kidding me? It's going to be a hold. It's going to come back. It's not like 10 plus yards is going to be make or break, probably, but you don't want to lose an explosive play like that. Or borderline explosive. I thought it was going to end up being more. And it's our best offensive lineman, Paris Johnson Jr. So throwing to Trey Benson doesn't even make any sense here. Because we've said, hey, that's cool and all. The only thing that matters is rushing yards. Wide open. Marvin Harrison Jr. drops it. Oh, come on, dude. We're already down 14-0. We had to punt. Holds are just killers, man. Holds, I mean, really any penalties. Saying hold sounds so weird to me for some reason, but offensive penalties, getting sacked, these are legitimate drive killers, and I don't typically like running on 2nd and 8, but, we're going for 100 plus yards with Trey Benson. He needs more than 10 rushing yards in the first quarter, I would say. If we're going to be on pace, more than 10 could be good. And we're not really able to find that explosive play right now. Just spamming inside zone. Like, there is some space, but we're just not doing anything crazy. The age-old question, duo or inside zone? This is duo. And we don't really duo much with it. Okay, we're up inside the 5 now. Need to punch it in. We need that touchdown at some point, right? Benson's getting really close. 15 rushes for 54 yards. We are technically on pace then. There's no need to even say technically. We are on pace, even though it's been a lot of touches so far. Benson powers in. That's the touchdown. Just need a lot more yards now. And our defense, you know, doing anything would be nice. And maybe a counter run's going to do us good here. Do us well. We'll see. 9 seconds on the clock. Got to stay patient. It's Amari DiMercato, dude. Get him out of here. Okay, Trey Benson back in the game. Just give us a block on the edge, please. If we motion over McBride, that actually really is going to open things up. That forces a safety back. We got to have numbers. McBride doesn't block anybody. Pick somebody up! I think we just got to keep doing what we're doing. But we're close. We're at like 95 yards. We're in the neighborhood. Like we're at Applebee's. 3rd and 3 is what it would be if we didn't get any yards here. Reading is hard. Trey Benson over 100. We got there. There's no way you dropped that, Amari. Dude, that's not your fault, Kyler. Do not take responsibility. How do you drop that? I mean, it's absolutely wide open. I think Harrison Jr. burns over the top, though. There he is. That's got to be gone. Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown. Still time on the clock. Defense, do anything. That's actually not awful. We're out of timeouts. 35 seconds to go. I mean, it's not where you want to be, obviously. But it could be worse. It could be worse. Trey Benson stays in the block. I mean, we really need Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, the safety completely ran to the flat. I don't know how we can't find space in behind him. And we know with the runoff, we're going to be a little screwed if we can't get out of bounds. So we're trying to get out of bounds. Harrison Jr. It's underthrown. That's Madden 25 for me in a nutshell. Underthrowing the ball. I am using the right throwing though. So I don't know. Harrison Jr. I mean, he's just absolutely locked down right now. I'm not really looking at anybody else. So I guess something could be wide open in theory and I'm not seeing it. But I mean, he's our best receiver by a country mile. So I mean, rolling out here just lost us the game. They literally gave us no chance to do anything. All right, well, we're going to drop to 6 and 5. We'll accomplish our goal with Trey Benson, but that's it. Well, Trey Benson has now received superstar development and 4,500 XP and an extra 1,000 for being a scheme fit bonus. So that's actually a really nice little thing there. Not like 1,000's a huge difference maker, but it's something. Like it's just for being a scheme fit. This is a game changer for the offense. Absolutely. Because if they're not like a 90 overall, they really don't play all that well in simulation. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's a ball carrier vision issue. Maybe it's something. I'm not sure. We're going to upgrade power back just because the CPU is not really going to be doing that by default. Get break tackle and trucking up, which is exactly what I wanted anyway. So that's great. And then the CPU is probably going to take him near a 90 overall by the end of the year. So we are in business. Again, not a lot of depth at running back. We're going to fix that in the offseason. But 6 and 5 in year 2 is not the worst. Beating the Rams there would have really done well for putting us in the playoffs, for sure. If you look at the NFC West right now, that game really decided who was at the top of the division. But there's a lot of football left to be played. And, oh man, this seems like it could be a good draft to have the number 1 pick, Jacoby Young. A finesse moves and power moves. How in the world could I possibly move up for that? I don't think so. Well, we did not make the playoffs. Finished 8 and 9 again. I think we went 8 and 9 in year 1. So we improved and then we completely fell off. Kyler Murray had a much better season statistically. 4,000 yards passing, 27 touchdowns to just 7 interceptions. Trey Benson, over 1,000 yards rushing, just under 5 per carry, 12 touchdowns. Great year. Really awesome. Michael Wilson led the team in receiving yards, just eclipsing 1,000. Marvin Harrison Jr. not too far behind him. We do need a better third receiver, but these top three are kind of going to be the main ones. But I like that we actually have a running game, and that should only get better. And what a year for Sean Randolph. Led the team in solo tackles, total tackles. He had 6 TFLs, half a sack, and a pick. It's a really good year for the third-round rookie. 94 tackle already, by the way. Our rookie class is just incredible. And then with our pass rush, remember, TFLs are more of a run-stop stat, but 11 TFLs for Zaven Collins, 10 for Darius Robinson, and the rookie Ashton Barksdale. Kind of got a lot of TFLs total. Not a ton of pressure, especially not from our edge group. 5 for BJ Ojulari is disappointing. And we didn't really force too many turnovers either. It's not an incredibly low number, but it's not really a lot in terms of interceptions. But the team still has a long way to go. This was a big developmental year. And if you look at some of the great players that we are developing already, we're in a really good spot. Really, really good spot. We have Paris Johnson Jr. into the 80s. The O-line's coming along. Trey Benson, superstar dev, 87 overall. He's the same overall as Marvin Harrison Jr. now, right? Who's an X factor. Trey McBride's approaching a 90. And then defensively, superstar dev for McLeod. Unfortunately, only star dev for Barksdale. I was hoping that'd be a little bit more. I think when they're hidden dev, everything works like superstar dev until they play the snap count. Maybe that's a thing. I'm pretty sure that I've heard that at least. So as to not reveal what dev trait they have, I think it all works like it is superstar. I'm pretty sure. So maybe you wouldn't want to play those guys, but how are they going to get XP if they're not playing the snaps? So I don't know. We will simulate to the off season. Obviously, you have like training and stuff, and those drills and practice. But year 2, a little bit disappointing. Could have been worse, obviously, but year 3 is where we're really going to kick things into gear. I trust it. 2025 season recap has the Baltimore Ravens beating the Minnesota Vikings in the most purple Super Bowl I've ever seen. Lamar wins Super Bowl MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Sean Randolph wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. And Tim Hitchens of the Saints does win Offensive Rookie of the Year. If you're a good rookie quarterback, you will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. If you're even okay, you will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. We have money, though, right? So we can do some things in free agency if we want to go that route. Paris Johnson Jr., I think we will pick up his 5th-year option. And then Dicker, the kicker, I mean, we'll just solidify the kicker position. Welcome back, Dicker, the kicker. $97 million in 2026 cap room. We swung and missed on Chase Young, on Charvarius Ward. However, that's not going to happen this time. We could upgrade the edge. DeMarcus Lawrence is here, but he's older. Joe Tooney maybe has a little bit more interest to me. Taylor Moton wouldn't be a bad idea. I do think the offensive line, it's going to be Zach Tom. He's 27. He's an 83 overall with star dev. He wants to be here. This is someone we probably just need to pay. It's a significant upgrade already over Christian Jones. That's just got to be the guy, probably. And then we need to fill in some holes. So we'll need a better running back, but it doesn't need to be Rashad White. It can be like, we can bring Michael Carter back. That's fine. He's not incredibly expensive. We could always draft one, but 3-year deal works fine for me. We could still draft a receiver, but I do want to sign at least one as well. Calvin Austin's not really a bad option, to be honest. 3-year deal for him. He wants to be here. I'm interested in the players that are interested in us. We could really look to improve on the interior. Joel Batoni would be like a 1-year type guy at 34 years old. Does want to be here with no offers, so I'm actually comfortable giving him a 1-year deal. He will probably retire. But if we have him for 1 year and he's good, I'm all the way in. Randolph, by the way, goes up to superstar dev. We could use another off-ball linebacker. Did Zaven Collins have star and no longer has star? I think that's true. We have dev trait regression on. Zaven Collins has dropped to just normal development, even though he was our most productive pass rusher. Sean Murphy Bunting is down to normal. Yeah, you can lose it in a hurry, huh? All right, I'm fine just going after the 4 we've targeted. Calvin Austin is yet to sign, but we do bring in Joel Bitonio, Zach Tom, and Michael Carter. So the offensive line is upgraded massively, got better depth at running back, and we'll also bring Calvin Austin into the class to get better depth at receiver. What is Mock Draft 5 looking like? Jacoby Young is a top 5 talent in the class. 6'6", 278 at Texas Tech. Is this just Tyree Wilson? A finesse moves, A power moves. Great speed and strength. He's going to be really good. I don't think we can move up for him, though, is kind of where I would lean. We know we don't have a first-round pick. We have 2 second-round picks. Oh, major bust. Good job, Jags. Good luck. I mean, there are plenty of round 1 corner true talents that we can go after. So if we need cornerback, very, very doable. But I don't know. I was hoping there'd be some type of big steal down the board. Broderick Felix could potentially play safety. A press B zone coverage is a really interesting combination with no man ability. So maybe I don't really like that. Safety's in a pretty good spot, but I could potentially draft Kyle Knox if he falls into the second round. But I'm thinking right now more than anything that it might not be a bad idea to just trade down and try to get some more ammo next year. Okay, NFL draft time. I mean, I just don't see any way we can move up. I just don't. Like, it's cool that we know about a top 5 talent. No question, right? There are a few round 1 guys down the board who may get to us in round 2, although I feel like it's kind of unlikely. Just, do I want Jacoby Young enough to move up? And he'd be a really good player, right? We need edge badly. I just don't think we have the ammunition. We really only have the 2 second-round picks this year, so we're going to simulate, see what gets to us at 43, and either make our selection or decide to trade down. And trading down... I mean, my brain just shut off. I'm sorry. Jacoby Young was projected to go number 1 overall. I haven't done anything. I've never seen this before. Jacoby Young is still on the board. What, did a gas mask bong video come out before the draft? That only made Laramie Tunsil fall to the teens. Oh, is he gone now? Did I miss my opportunity? Could have drafted 2 of them. All right, well, he's gone. He wasn't actually available. Okay. That would have been interesting, though. Just a visual glitch. What's new? I wonder what would even happen if I just tried to draft him. I really do wonder. But it probably would have broken my game. So maybe a good thing that I didn't. We're going to trade down. We're not going to take this pick. We're going to try to get something next year. And we'll see what we can get. If I can't find anything I like, again, we're looking for 2027 picks. I will just do it myself. I don't really want to trade within the division, but I could. Okay, we are trading this second-round pick and a third in 2028 for a first from the Bucks, which might be our first-round pick. I think there's actually a decent chance that we just got our first-round pick back. It doesn't exactly say in here. I think it wouldn't manage roster, actually. But I think we got our first-round pick back. So I'd be fine with that. Yeah, we do. No. It actually is Tampa's. Interesting. So they still have ours, so we just hope they're going to be really bad. Right? It's projected to be number 4 overall. It won't be. If we finish top 5, I mean, something is seriously wrong. Okay, back of the second round now. Is Kyle Knox even still on the board? I mean, I guess he is, right? But I think I prefer to draft that linebacker. If we sort by true talent here. Gerald Belzer from UNC looked to be quite good. Block shedding's fine. Pursuit tackling, zone coverage, all quite good. Physically, quite good. Just seems like a really solid addition to our linebacking core. True first-round talent. And he is the number 12 ranked player in the whole draft. We got him at 58. He's got very good speed and acceleration and agility. Hidden dev, only 21 years old. Really good addition to our team. He's going to play outside linebacker. And I feel like we've crushed the draft. We got a first-round pick next year now that we didn't have previously. And our draft's over, by the way. We got one player. We made so many moves in year one. We cleared out our entire, capital of draft picks. But we got really, really good players, which is the whole reason why you want draft picks in the first place. Now we bring in the number 12 ranked player in the whole draft at 75 overall. So he's not like crazy, crazy good. But he is good. Block shedding's a bit low. Coverage is in a pretty good spot. Has a lot of traits. We're going to move him over to right outside linebacker. We have our young linebacking core of the future. And Gerald Belzer's got the 58 on. Bringing me back to Darryl Washington times. Love Darryl Washington. But he could not stay out of trouble. Only a 74 overall at right outside linebacker. Doesn't really make a big difference to me. And then if you look at the entire class here, Jacoby Young was the first pick, so we had no chance to get him. But this is not really that stacked of a class. Look at the overalls and look at where these guys were drafted. Oh my goodness, what a bad class. 2 77s, only a handful of 76 overalls, and they were all sprinkled throughout. How bad does this first round look? 77, 73, 70, 73, 75, 73, 72, a lot of 72s and 73s. Oh, a 66 for Grant Henry, UDFA talent. Oh, this is the worst draft class I've probably ever seen. So I guess a good thing that we traded our picks, because I would have been super disappointed. Oh my goodness. That is one of the worst draft classes of Madden 25, obviously, for me. But ever in Madden that I've seen with this new kind of like draft system. You can't go back to Madden 13, right, when the ratings were different. I can't even say Madden 25 because this is Madden 25, but not this Madden 25. The other Madden 25. Good choice to call it Madden 25 back in the day. Great foresight. I'll tell you, speaking of number 58 with Darryl Washington, many of you probably won't remember just how good Darryl Washington was for a year or two. Remember, I think he was a second-round pick coming out of TCU. Definitely out of TCU. I just can't remember if he was a second rounder or not. He was so good, probably around Madden 25 time, actually. So that's kind of fun. But it's just kind of a flash in the pan guy. He got suspended maybe even a couple times indefinitely and never ended up coming back from that, obviously. So, he was a beast, and it really wasn't even that long ago. But I think it's one of those names where you might go, oh yeah, but a lot of people don't even care about defensive players. So it's just someone I think you could forget about pretty easily. But Darryl Washington was a beast. Kind of like a hybrid outside linebacker, inside linebacker type guy. It wasn't an edge rusher, but he could blitz. He could get after the QB a little bit. He was a really, really fun player. One of my favorites of the time for sure. I think the change we're going to make, well, first of all, I think Cleveland can stay out there. I'm going to make our third sub linebacker the rookie Gerald Belzer. But the big change that we're going to make is moving Marvin Harrison Jr. into the slot. I think that's going to get him more targets, and we want our best receiver to get more targets. I think that makes plain sense. And then Mac Wilson will be right outside linebacker number 2, and Belzer will move into that starting spot. He's 7 years younger. He's got a better development trait. He's going to start. And then Isaiah Adams will be good depth at backup left guard. Kind of be that if there's ever an injury, he'll come in at center guard or left guard or right guard. So I really like where the team is. And we need to see success this year, up to an 84 overall. This is the big year that we take a jump up, I would say. Okay, we are 1-6. I maybe misjudged this team. How are we 1-6, dude? What? How did the league know we were going to have the 4th pick? 1 score loss, 1 score loss, 1 score loss, 1 score loss, 1 score win, 1 score loss, 1 score loss. A lot of these 3 points or less. We're right there. We just can't finish a game right now. I don't really know what's going on with that. It's devastating. We have the 4th best passing yards per game, 14th best points per game. Our defense is struggling. 27th in points per game allowed. So Why is that happening? We're 86 overall. It's got to be one of the better teams in the league. But I'll tell you what, it's not going well. As if you didn't know, you needed me to tell you that, hey, 1-6 is bad. Belzer, by the way, has superstar dev. So our draft class, despite having no picks, ends up looking amazing. We had a superstar. 21-year-old rookie Gerald Belzer. Love it. I don't love 1-6. Why are we so bad? Answer, we have no pass rush, probably. Zaven Collins and BJ Ojulari not getting it done. And this is where you even consider, like, making a move at the deadline. We have 21 players with expiring contracts. Michael Wilson's one of them. BJ Ojulari, Zaven Collins. A lot of players in here. And we don't even have our first-round pick. How do we get better and get so much worse? Zaven Collins and a second gets us let me rephrase that. Zaven Collins and a 7th next year gets us a second-round pick from the Steelers. Collins was just not going to be somebody we were going to re-sign. I think I am going to bring back BJ Ojulari. So maybe for another year or two, he'll still be with us. He's only 24 years old. There are rookies in real life, not that you're going to find Madden, but there are 24-year-old rookies in real life. Oh, there are 25, 26-year-old rookies after the COVID year. So 24 is still really young. He's got a good dev trait. I would do a 3-year deal. I don't want to be super tied down to BJ Ojulari in case that he doesn't really end up developing, which I've seen. So we're going to keep things as they are. Michael Wilson doesn't want to commit right now, but is definitely somebody we want back. Sean Murphy-Bunting, I'm going to trade. I probably do want to bring back at least Garrett Williams, though. He's pretty cheap. Our head coach historic win percentage is not very good. So that's kind of hurting how much he wants to be here. Kyler Murray does not yet have the franchise quarterback tag, and I'm not sure he's going to get it after his performance this year. Will Hernandez, we could use if we don't bring back Joel Bitonio, but I think Bitonio could consider a retirement. So, I mean, we'll offer him back for one more year. Nobody can fully commit right now. I get that we're 1-6, but this is... Dude, come on. Say yes. Chargers are offering us a superstar dev tight end. I bet he is a blocking type. So I'm not super interested. Tre'Davious White also I thought would be older than 31 at this point. Wow, that's crazy. I don't really want him, though. He's just not the same player he once was. He's got star dev, which is cool, but I think I'd rather a pick back for Sean Murphy-Bunting if I can make that happen. And we could even potentially get in the first round. Not just for Sean Murphy-Bunting, obviously, but... No, I need more picks. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a top 10 pick. But Sean Murphy-Bunting and then maybe a 5th to move up in the draft. It's going to be a 5th and a future 7th. And that should give us a second-round pick from the Rams. So, trade within the division, but... You know, we're not competing for the division right now. Neither are the Rams, to be fair. And we'll do some more negotiation at the end of the season. But, yeah, what a disaster. We, I think, could turn it around and finish with, you know, 6, 7, or 8 wins, something in that neighborhood, as we crush Seattle. But it's been a really bad season so far. But it wouldn't shock me if we beat the Chiefs here. Which we don't. We lose by 2 scores for the first time all year. We made the playoffs. Okay. I mean, we finished with 8 wins. 8 and 9, I guess, was good enough to make the playoffs. Didn't force any wins, obviously. Except for the bye week. We got real naughty. 31-2. We got safety. That was the... Okay, well, we got our revenge on the Rams. But, oh my goodness, dude. What a weird year. But all it takes sometimes is making the playoffs, and then you can make a run. So we got in... Somehow, Kyler Murray kind of turned over the ball a little bit too much, but 30 touchdowns, almost 4,000 yards passing. Trey Benson was still very good. Receiving, Marvin Harrison Jr. was awesome. Trey McBride really produced. Michael Wilson took a big step back, not being in the slot. Calvin Austin kind of outperformed him in every category, even if his numbers were unremarkable. And then Jonathan Cleveland with a really nice year overall. 15 TFLs and 12.5 sacks for Ashton Barksdale. We are getting no pressure off the edge. Xavier Thomas is into that rush end roll now. Jonathan Cleveland, 3 picks, led the way. But we've made the playoffs. I'm not going to jump in here yet, but I mean, we're an 87 overall team. It's not that weird, I guess, but didn't really expect to be here after the 1-6 start, and we're out of the playoffs. Well, that was fun. 31-28. The one-score curse continues for us this year. Unlucky, but I'm shocked we even got into the playoffs anyway. Year 4, that's going to be the year. If we just, can start a little hotter, we'll have a little bit of momentum moving into the playoffs. But we made it, we couldn't win still, so I don't know. Season recap. Chiefs beat the Packers. J.J. McCarthy wins league MVP. Wow. Pick up the 5th-year option on Marvin Harrison Jr. Need to extend Michael Wilson. Have to increase the money a little bit, but it's a little bit more than I'd want. But he's, 13, 14 million per year. Pick up the 5th-year option on Darius Robinson. I mean, still don't really want Garrett Williams or Cottrell Clark. I'll up the money a little bit. I mean, it's good depth. Williams is going to test free agency. I'm obviously not going to franchise tag him. Cottrell Clark is back, though. It was good to keep one of those guys. I'd rather have Owen Papo because of the age thing. Papo is also a tremendous athlete, so he's going to return. Good special teams option. It's just going to be like a lot of backups and stuff. Has Batonio retired? We're going to check that out. No, Batonio's still here. So I'll up the money a little bit. And Batonio's not interested in signing. But the franchise tag has probably gone up considerably. Be $21 million to bring him back, which is plus $7 million compared to what I was offering. I'll actually do that for one more year. And then Will Hernandez can walk. Okay, so this is the team. We don't necessarily need to upgrade anything on the offensive line. Things look pretty good. Barksdale's actually up to superstar dev, by the way. And he wants to play left end now. No, you don't get to. You play defensive tackle. You're 301 pounds. How did you get superstar? Just cuz? Just cuz is a pretty good reason. He had a crazy year. So I like that. We need help on the edge. I need this draft to have a really big-time defensive end. There is one that actually does look pretty good. Buda Baker down from superstar to just star now. We need help on the edge. And depth at defensive tackle is not actually the worst idea either. Let's check out the free agent class for the first time. Kyle Hamilton. I mean, there are players that would be good upgrades, even if we don't necessarily need them. Kyle Hamilton wants to be here. It would just be a really good addition to our secondary. And we're in the Super Bowl chase. Playoff contender, all right. I'll offer Kyle Hamilton what he's looking for. Now, he wants to go everywhere, unfortunately. But adding a superstar X Factor would be really nice. He's very expensive. Extremely expensive. But we're trying to win a Super Bowl. Kyle Hamilton maybe helps us do that. He's not going to pick us, probably. I do want to offer Tyler Linderbaum, though. We're at the point with this team where, we're trying to bring in actual real difference makers. Not just depth. But nobody really seems to want to be here at all. So, I don't know how we're even going to get anybody in the first place. He's going to go to the Raiders, almost surely. Like, every player that I want doesn't want to be here. Aleem McNeil would be decent, but we don't really need him. But it would let me move Darius Robinson back to the edge, which could work out well, so... I mean, we'll see if we even get anybody. Let's see. I'd love for Kyle Hamilton to choose us. Oh, he did. Okay, well, that works. And we got Aleem McNeil. Those are 2 big additions to the defense, which is what struggled last year for us. We'll kick Darius Robinson out to the edge. He could end up going back to defensive tackle depending on what happens in the draft. But that's a big upgrade for our defense. And we have Jalen Thompson. I get that. We have Buda Baker. These are good players. I'm thinking Buda Baker slot corner, Kyle Hamilton safety. Because Buda is, that classic hybrid type guy. I think him at slot corner would be really good. And that's kind of a role he's played in the past anyway. So we'll move him to corner, even though he's not going to play traditional corner. And Kyle Hamilton can move into a starting safety spot, which should be very, very good for our defense. Lee McNeil's out here now, and we'll kick Darius Robinson back over to the edge unless something changes. And we can always make a change back. It's not a big deal. That's why you have the versatile guys, so they can do a bunch of different things. And we do probably need to draft another defensive tackle somewhere in there. Even with Robinson back, just having 2 on the roster is not great. In fact, I might even sign one. Even 3 wouldn't be that great, right? So, we don't need anyone crazy, but Byron Young maybe. Let's see, why, 10 million? What? No way. No way you're getting 10 million. Yeah, I don't really want to give him that. He's a 75 overall. I get that, you know, defensive tackles are more expensive than ever. I think I'd probably prefer BJ Hill. Oh, this makes no sense. Why would we ever pay him this? 7.7, I guess, is a little bit more reasonable. I still don't love it. And BJ Hill should sign. I mean, you'd be stupid not to. It's better depth than we had. Brian Arrington is a true top 5 talent. Could definitely be somebody worth moving up for. We probably need something on the edge more than anything. Stanley has A, finesse moves, and elite speed. That's definitely interesting to me, although I would be pretty surprised if he were a top 5 talent. I wish for the power or even speed rush type outside linebackers, it would show us that in their core skills so I don't have to click in, which is why... Ooh, interesting. We don't need another safety, but maybe. Which is why they need the edge designation. Edge and linebacker. Split them up. Now, Arrington is expected to go number 1, right? So if we want him, we got to move all the way up. He's got, oh, he ran in the 4.4s, dude, at 260 pounds. Okay. I'm gonna draft him. So, whatever it takes, Brian Arrington is our guy. It's a promise. Whatever it takes. We also have a top 5 pick, by the way. We have number 5, 42, 52, 63. Better than 11, 22, 63. They shot the president. Nick Dorsett. Okay, top 5 talent at wide receiver. Oftentimes the playmaker types are. Oh, he looks really good. We don't really need another receiver that badly, but he seems like he could be a really fun player to add to our receiving corps. I mean, he looks awesome, right? But we surely can't pull that off, right? We have 3 top 5. The safety I need to ignore, right? We don't need another safety. Do I want another safety? Yeah, sure. I always could want another safety, but no, Brian Arrington's the guy. Okay, that took an incredible amount. It's a 2027 first rounder, number 5, our first round pick next year, 2 seconds this year, a second in 2029, and a third in 2029 to move up 5 spots. I mean, the Patriots got a king's ransom for the number 1 overall pick, but Brian Arrington looks insane. Can he shed blocks as a run stopper? Surely can't. No, very bad at that. But A finesse moves, A power moves, A tackle with elite acceleration, agility, and speed. He ran in the 4.4s at near 260. He is a freak. Welcome to Arizona, Brian Arrington. He is the number 1 player in the draft. He's looking dapper in the top right, even though that's definitely not his face, but it's being covered up, so we'll never know. Generational talent. So he is a guaranteed generational superstar X Factor. Generational talent. He's got 94 acceleration, 88 speed, 85 strength, 89 agility. Oh my God. He's got F hit power. This is a generational guy with D block shed. I don't know. But as a pass rusher, he's going to have probably close to 90 finesse moves. The freak. Because Brian Arrington has popped up. It doesn't let you draft the player. Okay? So, now we know. The safety's still available. It's a top 5 talent. I can't pass on him. This is the middle of the second round, and he's a top 5 talent in the draft. A man coverage. We can maybe throw him in the slot and Buda Baker back to safety. I don't know. He's the number 4 player in the draft. We got him at 42. How do you hate that? Only normal dev. Could just be good depth, but he's a top 5 player. I'm in. Might only be like a 76 overall. That's a possibility, but I'm in. All right, let's see what we're working with here. Draft recap. 84 overall, I will take. 77 overall, by the way, for the safety. He's got the full sleeves as well. He's a monster. This is a monster player. 22 years old. 88 finesse moves. Only 67 block shed, but yeah, he's unreal. Freak athlete with 88 finesse moves, and he's a team player archetype or personality type as well. Yeah, I mean, he's a freak. There's no other way to say it. He's just one of the best players we've seen in Madden 25, obviously. Jelani Beckham, only normal dev, but be a good special teams guy at the very least. He's good depth at the very least. 77 overall. Really pretty good. So we'll take that. And then with the entire NFL, what's the drop-off here from 1 to 2? Pretty significant still. Dorsett was the number 2 player in the draft. Went at number 4. 79 overall. Will Whalen, 78 overall. QB is very good. Not a lot of super high-rated players, though. Not even a lot of 76 overall players. But the top end of the draft was pretty insane. I mean, a 78 overall quarterback who's 21 years old especially is awesome. I like the team. We got to be awesome this year, right? I mean, Harrington's already playing up to an 86 overall, has never even stepped foot on an NFL field. I honestly think we just leave Darius Robinson as our base defensive end. Ojulari might be a rush end for us, but no, maybe we just keep Robinson out there. I like the way the team looks like this. And Ojulari's just, I don't know, depth maybe? Or maybe I start him as our base end, and then Robinson could be a rush end, which is such a weird combo. I'm not going to do that. I don't know. I mean, Arrington's just too sick not to go up and get, right? So we had to do it. Team looks really, really good. It's just, what does BJ Ojulari even do? Because rush right end, they care about power, but we have 2 speed rushers as our first 2, so I don't really know. I like what we have going on. I don't really feel the need to change it. We just need to see the results. And I think we're going to see that this year. Buda Baker's an 87 overall corner, but he's going to play in the slot, of course. Our team looks amazing now. Mid-season mark. You guys will see the team. We're 3-4. Stop losing, please. Win games. Who's breaking out right now? Ashton Barksdale. Oh, 4+ TFLs is a crazy goal. That's not happening. All right, well. Okay. I mean, it's not happening. We are an 89 overall, struggling to win games. But why? Why? I really don't have an answer for you. Obviously, Arrington has X Factor. We already knew that. If you're an 84 overall, you are an X Factor. Like, as a rookie. I'm throwing Michael Wilson back in the slot. I'm hoping that's going to result in some good things. We could still very easily win the division. We're actually tied for the division lead right now, and they might even give it to us. The projected 4 seed. We are not doing all that well, but we're one of the better teams in the league. Just start winning, please. Okay, we are 8-7. 8-7. We are on the outside looking in right now. What does the rest of the schedule look like? Browns and then 49ers. We are a 90 overall team, dude. We cannot miss the playoffs. We got to go on the road in Cleveland, and it's snowing. Oh, we're totally losing. I'm just super simming where maybe I have the opportunity to jump in if we need to. We're up 17-3. Aaron Judge homered again. This guy's unbelievable. I don't even want to say what I want to say. We're up 20-6. We're going to be hopefully winning this game. 23-13, 30-13. Okay, it's going to be over here. So we've definitely improved our playoff chances. Aaron Judge is the best player of all time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's baseball. And Aaron Judge is unbelievable, and the game happens to be on in the background. Go Yankees. We are still not in the playoff picture. We're 9-7. If we win 10 games, you'd think we're going to get in, right? The Niners are 7-9 at an 88 overall. Sucks to be them, but it also sucks to be us if we don't get in. So, Super Sim again. Hopefully we beat the Niners. 14-3. 21-3. This is dominant so far, but it's only an 11-point game. And now it's a 3-point game. Did I say dominance? I meant hang on to the win, please. 28-25. Oh, my goodness. The 49ers are going to try a field goal to tie, and they do. Come on, drive down the field. Make a play. Let's go. We're jumping in. I've never, I don't think, jumped in just to try and win a game before the playoffs. But we've been disappointing, man. We gotta get in. Okay, well, this is pretty much going to do it here. I'd like to snap the ball before 40 seconds and get down so I can't even have Chew Clock end the game for us. But if we bring out the field goal unit here. Actually, can we go... We'll just go anything and then call a timeout. So it's going to bring us all the way down. We can even take a delay a game if we wanted to, but I'll call a timeout at 1 second on the play clock. And then a field goal should give us the win. I don't know why. Oh, coach suggestions. Okay, I'm like, why would they want me to run halfback dive here? Feels brain dead. Kick is up and good. We're going to win the game. And hopefully at 10-7, make the playoffs. Okay, so 10-7 is good enough to win the division. Right? Wild card playoff, we got the Commanders. They're actually pretty decent overall, too. That's the problem that I talked about at the start of this video, where, hey, if you make everyone a pretty good overall, and they develop similarly, every team's going to be one of the best teams in the league. Young, by the way, is an X factor. Duval's an X factor. I remember obviously seeing Young in the draft. We had that whole thing. Commanders had the first overall pick. Duval, do I remember a superstar X factor safety? I don't know. But we've made the playoffs. I forgot to check out the season stats. We'll check that out after this game. Hopefully we win. That would be sweet. A win would be really cool, actually. We are down early, but we answer right back, 7-7. I'd like our defense to start doing anything, but our offense, thankfully, is on fire. Our defense got a stop, and then another stop, and our offense has stopped. A lot of stops going on. 24-14 in the fourth quarter. It's a three-point game. 31-21, 31-27. Inside 2 minutes to play. It is 4th and 2 from midfield. If you think we're giving them back the ball, you are out of your damn mind. Can we guarantee 2 yards, though? Oh, I don't know. It looks like they've got 13 players on the field. Not even 12. 13. It looks like they have so many. Do I feel comfortable running the ball against this look? It's the most stacked box I've ever seen. Give me this monster blocking tight end, Tip Ryman. There's nowhere to go. Reasons why you'd punt there is because in a field position battle, the Commanders had no timeouts. We just tried to end the game. What we should have done was tried to pass for it against that look, and we didn't do it. Now, the Commanders need a touchdown. Field goal will not do. I'd like for that route to be jumped, actually. Down goes Jaden Daniels. Ashton Barksdale brings him down. It's 3rd and 16. Accidentally on Jalen Thompson. Down goes Daniels again. He's barely able to get rid of it. That was Arrington. He's a beast. 4th and 16. Season on the line for the Commanders. We cannot allow this to get picked up. And they have nothing even to the sticks. It's picked off by Max Melton. Smell you later. Commanders out of the playoffs. Dude, they had 0 routes going beyond the line to gain. They had nothing down the field. Everything was stopping short. That's so funny. Max Melton ends it. Game over. We're moving on to the divisional. Got the Packers, 14-3 Packers, by the way, in the divisional. Check out these season stats in a word. Kyler Murray, by far his best season as a Cardinal here. 4,300 yards, 30 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. At least best season of the video. But Murray was on an MVP pace a few years ago and then kind of fell off the map. I think that was 2021. I think he got hurt, right? Or just fell off. I don't know. It's tough. I can't quite remember. But this is obviously his best season of the video. No question about that. Rushing, 17 touchdowns for Trey Benson, as he should be 90-plus overall easily. 93 playing up to a 97. 99 carrying and ball carrier vision. And receiving, Trey McBride leads the way. Wilson and Harrison Jr. shy of 1,000. Calvin Austin bringing up the rear as well out of those top 4. Gerald Belzer, plenty of tackles. Jonathan Cleveland right there. TFL's Ashton Barksdale, what a season. For a defensive tackle, 18 TFLs, 15 sacks. Darius Robinson was okay. Brian Arrington, you'll really take this for a rookie. He's only up to an 89 overall as a rookie, playing up to a 92, which is insane. But also he started out so high. I thought, maybe he would be like 91, 92 at this point. He's playing up to a 92, but true 89 overall. But very nice season for a rookie. You'll take 8 sacks. You might be sore afterwards. Few interceptions for the squad. But the divisional round of the playoffs is up. Cardinals, Packers at Lambeau. Not really a great matchup for us with the weather, but Jordan Love up to X Factor. This is a team we can beat, though. It is, of course, snowing here in Lambeau. We're down early. It's going to be 2 scores. 14-0. Finally have found the end zone. Defense finally stepped up, and we are finally tied again. Down 21-14 now. Second half, tied back up at 21. It is a slugfest in which we finally take the lead. 28-24, 31-24. Tied up at 31. We are on offense. 4 minutes to play. 2nd and 5. We're going to chew clock. And it's almost dangerous that we're allowed to wear all white here. Now, not being able to see them, not ideal. Trey Benson, right up the middle, rushing touchdown. Did we score too quickly is my one question. But on defense, they literally won't be able to see us. And it's 45-31. What happened? Interception by Brandon McLeod for 59 yards, and then Murray finds Trey McBride. Brandon McLeod, of course, that big-time cornerback. Ended up being in the 80s as a rookie. And that actually should do it. 45-31, 48-31, and 48-38 is your final. Down go the Packers. Real slugfest. We allowed 5 passing touchdowns by Jordan Love, but Murray played great overall. Trey Benson was pretty good. Our big-time receiver was Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride right there as well. And then defensively, really everybody getting after it. And Brandon McLeod with the big interception. Unfortunately, not returned for a touchdown, but set us up for a score in the next play, so we'll take that. 48-38. We are moving on to the NFC Championship. Let's head to the Super Bowl. Come on. One more win until we get a shot at the Lombardi. Cowboys in... Of course, it's the Cowboys, by the way. They're always here. Cowboys in the NFC Championship. No dev trade upgrades yet. That happens during Super Bowl week. But Belzer's got Superstar X Factor. Okay. Did he get that last season? I missed it. Did he get it at some point this season? I don't know, but I'm not complaining. I might just be blacking out right now, and I totally have seen this before. But it looks new. I don't know. I'm just totally vibes guesser. Vibes feeling out for dev traits. I don't necessarily remember for sure. I don't know why I can't activate 3 zone abilities, by the way. I've regenerated the best lineup, and it just hasn't done anything. But Cardinals, Cowboys, the Emmitt Smith Bowl. Did Herschel Walker ever get to the Cardinals? I don't think so. New Jersey Generals, Vikings, Cowboys. I think he even played on the Giants. Who's another Cowboy Cardinal? I just had the name Kevin Ogletree pop into my mind, which, if you remember him, get some help. But he was a Buck for sure. Maybe not a Cardinal. Cardinals, Cowboys. Feels like a DB would be in there that I'm missing. I don't know. You guys will tell me in the comment section down below. Sometimes it's difficult to think of a bunch of different examples in the moment. But I got the one. I got Emmitt Smith. Here we go. Let's get a score first for once. I feel like we've been playing down the entire playoffs. We're down, to start the playoffs here, or the NFC Championship. Down 6-0, though, so it's still only a 1-possession game. And we take the lead with a touchdown, but we allow one right back. This is not a slugfest, but with 5 minutes to go here, in the 4th quarter, down 2 scores, I don't love where we are. I really don't. Austin, I just need you to take that safety, and Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown. Well, we'll take that. I don't know how Murray was able to even get rid of that throw in the first place. We're going to go hurry up. Couldn't even run the ball here. Could even just run with Kyler Murray. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Kyler walks in, touchdown. Defense, you got to do something. Well, we've jumped in and we've allowed a lot of yardage. We need an interception or something. That would be great. Time not on our side at all. And ideally, we need to get them out of field goal range. And they're in field goal range, so we need a big TFL. Light up, Dak! Let's go! Bells are in on the pressure and the sack. 3rd and 13. We're trusting our guys in man coverage here. We need pressure. They could just run the ball. They're not going to, though. Dak running backwards and is sacked! Let's call a timeout. Way out of field goal range. Where are you going? We'll need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie. That's doable, though, especially when we're starting from the 20-yard line. Good touchback. 57 seconds to go. Harrison Jr.'s open. There is a flag, though. This one likely coming back. Oh, it's not. It's going to be roughing the passer. Okay. Damone Clark getting a little bit too aggressive. 50 seconds on the clock. Don't really want to give the Cowboys any time, but we likely are not really going to. Again, don't ever do hurry up. Just snap the ball. 2nd and goal becomes 3rd and goal. We probably had a lane to score there. I didn't want to score too fast, but we have to score. Now we need to. 3rd and goal. And they're protecting against a lot of different things. Murray up the field. Micah Parsons is not really who you want to be against in that situation. They had like 3 spies down the middle. Like everything was just way too congested. I did not mean to snap the ball. McBride, wide open, touchdown. Oh my God. Okay. A lot's happening right now. A lot's happening. Did not mean to snap that. I'd like Marvin Harrison Jr. here. I really had like a drag or something. We need to scramble for it, I think. Nope. McBride got it. Oh my God. I've got rollout sickness. I'm diseased. I need help. Oh, this is way too close. What are we doing? No more plays. No more plays. Don't snap it. Thank you. 21-21. We're headed to overtime. That is the end of regulation against the Dallas Cowboys. Holy. We've won the toss. We're going to get the ball. We're going to score. That's what's going to happen. Doesn't end the game now in the postseason. Cowboys have a chance to answer, but we're going to get the ball and we're going to score. Lysol lob. Wilson wide open. Broken tackle. Just go down. I don't want to take too many shots here. Murray over 400 yards passing. We're getting a little bit too crazy with getting on the move like that. I don't know why. I just feel so much more comfortable scrambling. I just can't sit in the pocket and make a throw. I think it's called being bad. I think I've heard that. It's only the 4th attempt for Benson. Dude, I really haven't even played very much of this game. Why are we not handing the ball off to Trey Benson at all? 3rd and goal from the 1. Fullback dive. Give me a Tip Ryman. Hopefully game-winning touchdown. Ryman up the middle. Touchdown. We need 1 stop on defense. 1 stop. Anything but a touchdown and we win the game. 3rd and 3. I mean, we're blitzing because it worked before. Jake Ferguson's really outrunning my entire defense, which I'm not really in favor of. I think blitzing Dak could be an okay idea. We'll see what happens. Got to watch out for CeeDee Lamb. Oh, it's a screen. I mean, that's a perfect play call against a blitz. But this is fine. They can get to the 20, they can get to the 10, they can get to the 1. As long as they don't get into the end zone, we win the game. Maybe blitzing Dak, though, is not the best course of action, is kind of what I'm finding. Dak on the move. I'm sending somebody after him, dude. I hit the right stick in. Go get him. It's a screen. We're all over it. Incomplete. Cowboys, best case scenario, 2 plays and the game is over for us. See what happens. I'm worried about CeeDee Lamb here. CeeDee Lamb wide open. Cowboys have the ball on the 5. They're trying to force double overtime. We're going to get aggressive right back at them. We're going to get aggressive. A sack could really end the game here for Dallas. That's really not too bad. 10th tackle for Belzer. He is all over the field. Timeout, Dallas. We just got to play coverage for a second. Someone's going to get after Dak. Someone's going to get there. It's a screen. We're reading it. Can't make the tackle. No. Cowboys score. Ah, you're joking, dude. We get that out to Trey McBride. McBride down the field! Trey McBride, touchdown! Are you kidding me? How do you let him get over the top? Game over. Sudden death. It's done. 34-28 is your final. Trey McBride, touchdown over the top, up the seam. We are going to the Super Bowl. Murray throws for nearly 500. Okay, Super Bowl week. Who are we playing? The Jacksonville Jaguars. There are a lot of Jaguars and Cardinals, I feel like. Calais Campbell is kind of the big one. Trey McBride up to Superstar X Factor. Defensively, Barksdale up to Superstar X Factor. Darius Robinson up to Star. We'll take that. Budda Baker's not going to be playing over Max Melton. It's not going to happen, but Budda Baker's going to still stay in the slot. Arrington is playing up to a 94 overall, as a 91 as a rookie. 98 finesse moves, 88 power moves, 88 block shed. 88 block shed? We drafted him with like 60-something. Goodness. All right, here we go. 87 overall. Brian Thomas Jr. up to an X Factor, by the way. I would assume he would start out with Star Dev. Superstar genuinely shocked me, but I guess he's really produced with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Here we go. We are up 7-0 early. Jags tie it right back. We take the lead 14-7. Jags tie it right back up, and that seems to be the trend for this game. 21-14 as we approach halftime, up by 2 touchdowns, 28-14 into the third quarter. We are up 31-14. The Jags are getting blanked here, and they still can't find the end zone again. 38-20, and that is your final. What a dominant second half by this Arizona Cardinals team. Trevor Lawrence looks like a lizard person in the game. But we're getting rings. Marvin Harrison Jr. lifted up by Trey McBride. The Arizona Cardinals are Super Bowl champions. Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously. Trey Benson, Trey McBride. And our defense, I mean, we drafted exclusively defensive players. Did I draft anyone on offense? No linemen, no tight end, no receivers, no running back, no quarterback. I think we drafted only defense, which, I mean, that should show you in a way. The Cardinals have the pieces in place. Not a lot of defense being played in this game, but 5 touchdowns for Kyler Murray. Couldn't really run the ball very well. 4 sacks for Ashton Barksdale. 2 for Brian Arrington in the Super Bowl. Our pass rush went absolutely ballistic. A 4-sack Super Bowl performance is out of control. Obviously, no interceptions. We saw no one threw a pick. Our defense went crazy, though, with the pressures. Ashton Barksdale, what a guy. But that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Check it out. You like the videos. Just subscribe. Do me a favor. On the path to 600K. See you in the next one. Take it easy.